Start right now. Yay. All right. Remember by Joy Harjo. Remember the sky that you were born under. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon. Know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn. That is the strongest point of time. Remember sundown and the giving away to night. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are evidence of her life and her mother's and hers. Remember your father. He is your life also. Remember the earth whose skin you are, red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life, who all their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk to them, listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind, remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember you are all people and all people are you. Remember you are this universe and this universe is you. Remember all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember language comes from this. Remember the dance language is, that life is. Remember. One of the lines of the suttas from the Buddhist cosmology and spiritual text is remember, remember, you, O nobly born. Remember who you really are. And I thought this was a beautiful remembrance by Joy Harjo. I want to talk for just a minute about, I'm going to stop the share for a moment. I want to talk about self-compassion break. What is a self-compassion break? A self-compassion break is any moments, any breaths we take that turn our mind's attention to ourselves, to our own vulnerable human hearts with kindness, with compassion, with genuine care, with the wish to be free from suffering. And it's something we have infinite opportunity to do each day because what? There is both pleasant and unpleasant, difficult and more facile every single day. And so if you think that there isn't an opportunity for the practice, then you aren't really making this human connection to the whole of our human experience. And so the self-compassion break is a real opportunity to drop in to our distress, our confusion, our ignorance, our anger, our ill will, and offer sustenance, offer resource to ourselves so that we can become more resilient and heal. And so that's the all I really need to say about it, I think. The one thing I might add, I will share the poem with you. It is one of stunning, isn't it? One of the other things I will offer is that there are three components that we'll be reviewing for self-compassion break. They are first, our mindfulness practice. Without mindfulness, we cannot know the truth of the present moment. So we will cultivate stability, we'll cultivate groundedness, we'll cultivate concentration a little bit of gathering ourselves with the breath. This is the way we always begin. One of my, I feel a little distressed on occasion when I see self-compassion practiced by rushing off from the bell into a moment of difficulty or distress. I don't think any of us are ready for that. It comes up like that, but I think without a lot of practice, we're already wobbly, we're already off balance. The mind isn't yet even anchored into the body, into the available heart. And then off we rush to let's find a moment of distress. So we will not be doing that. That's why so many self-compassion practices are 15 minutes. It's because they're hoping you've already done your other 10 minutes of cultivating mindfulness. Well, we're going to do it here. So that's one. The second thing is, it wouldn't be my recommendation that you pick the most difficult moment. We're practicing, we're training. This is evening. We don't take on the greatest weights, the greatest distresses. Pick something in a 3 to 5 range on a 10-point scale. Be kind to yourself. Know what time of day it is. If it's already here, then the truth is, well, we're working with what's already here, but only do so to the extent that you are resourced to do so, and be watchful of that. I'd rather you just rest in gentle attention than put yourself through some paces that you do not have sufficient energies, resource, and skill to do. So mindfulness is the first component. The second component is making contact with our shared common humanity, our shared vulnerability, the truth of this very being alive, inviting both the most essential, beautiful moments, as well as the greatest challenges and difficulties, losses, pains, physical weakening, aging, illness and death, just those things alone. We haven't even included things like injustice, inequality, deceit, right? These realities that are present and sometimes in ways that are quite distressing in all of our lives, by the way. We're all confronting these things. So common shared vulnerability, humanity, humanness is the second point that we'll be touching into. And then the third point is the offering of nourishment, the offering of kindness, the offering of our own self-compassion directed first and foremost to ourselves as the essence of the practice. And so let's take a try at this. It will feel very familiar to most of you, and is always a beautiful key practice for me personally. Today, I'll give you an example. Someone I love was in distress, and they were not easily able to make contact with because of their distress. I was not really able to even be with them in a way that I would have chosen to be, not physically and otherwise. So what I could do was first feel for me in my frustration, in my distress at their distress, at my distress that I couldn't even be with them or offer support to them. Not that I thought it would fix it, but that would have been my wish to help alleviate the situation. It was not possible for a variety of reasons. So I was not able to assist them in the way I would have most enjoyed or liked. But I made contact with my own distress about that, and first came back to myself, checked in, said, it's okay. This is difficult when you know someone's in suffering and you feel this helpless or this powerless or this hopeless or this obstacled in what you might offer. And then, of course, as I sat with myself, what happened naturally was I could open to the other person who was armored up and not so available, and could understand that same sense that must have been present for them, that same powerlessness, that same helplessness, that same hopelessness that might have been in them, that didn't even allow them to open. And so then I could feel, of course, open-heartedly for us both. And that's what made me think that practice today would be useful. So here we go. Finding a comfortable posture. I don't even know to call it a posture for this. It's not even a word maybe I would like with self-compassion practice. An open-hearted posture. An open-hearted position might be something I would say. Something that allows the heart to feel available, supported, relaxed so that you're not tense or stiff, either in the back side of the body around the heart or in the front side of the body around the heart, so that you're available to whatever the experiences might be available there. You might want to anchor yourself also in some useful way. Feet on the floor, wrapped up in a blanket. There's a kind of natural swaddling that we can offer ourselves with a shawl, a blanket. These can be supportive for us. And then remembering that to be present to ourselves is actually the greatest first step towards radical love, radical compassion, and luminous wisdom, no matter what else is true, that this is always going to be the way. And so establishing ourselves for this practice, calling to mind a special someone to whom we wish to direct our practice, someone in need, someone we care about. And inviting as we breathe them into presence, breathing them in to our own open hearts, seeing if we can open ourselves to ourselves. And may this practice be of benefit. And that first instruction in self-compassion break is to cultivate mindfulness, knowing how we are right now exactly as we are. To do so, we simply begin to turn towards and into the body, seeing what the body-mind has to tell us. I can feel the tension of the day already. Nothing distressing particularly, but there's a little tightness, for example, at the base of the back spine for me. I know that's a little bit of stress tension. I'm not trying to get rid of this. I'm not trying to breathe it away. I'm just seeing if I can make contact. And then a few breaths just to stay. And right there, I could begin to feel for myself in the tension and weight of the day being felt in this body. This is not self-pity. This is not feeling sorry for ourselves. This is not even wishing for a different day. This day was actually amazing in all kinds of instructive and beautiful ways. I'm just saying, oh, yeah, there is the residue, still evident, still present here in this body. We can wave the breath through the body from head to toe, feeling where we notice points of release or tightness, places of numbness, maybe an achiness, a weariness, a release. I wave through a little bit better just the way my mind body works on the out breath. As I release everything, I can feel a little more where those little hiccups what did they used to say? Hitch in your giddy up. A little grip, a little tightness, a little tension. And so I just wave the breath over the body. And you can do that many times, or you could just do it slowly, just moving like with the mind's eye down the body, slowly from the forehead to the cheeks, breath down to the jaw. See how it works best for you. Today is just a day that each out breath goes just a little way with a little check-in. That seems to work. I'm just going to stick with that. We're simply becoming embodied, inviting mind home to body, and essential for establishing our mindfulness. With each out breath, we can simply relax the upper body, let it settle into the cradle of the hips, the legs, and the feet. I like to think of the lower body as a set of embracing arms just ready to catch us, ready to hold us, ready to anchor us to this present moment. I always use the in breath as an opportunity to gather my intention with the attention to do it again. Breathing naturally, as effortlessly as you can. There's no one right breath. See the way the body is breathing you. There's no rushing. There's nowhere else to get to. We're simply calming and stabilizing the mind as it comes to rest in this body breath. This may be the first time today that you have remembered this body and this body experience. Remember that we're always using the out breath as the place to make contact, the riding the wave of the out breath, catching the middle, the beginning, and then sliding on, staying in contact. all the way to the end of the movement, and then touching in, resting there in that point of stillness. It's actually most important that we do nothing there. We just open the mind in that stillness and silent space, feeling the vastness of awareness itself. There may be twinklings of sensations throughout other parts of the body, the right joints, the muscles, there might be some injuries there, there might be some just old worn out parts, or just a weary day in places. We're not judging, we're not condemning either the body or the circumstance. Can we just divide the body, honoring whatever it has to tell us? Achy like this. Just this willingness to turn towards the body as it is a radical act of mindfulness. We don't have to improve anything, make anything better. We simply have to be willing to touch in, turn towards, and stay just for a breath. The body mind has so much to tell us about how we are and how we are reacting and responding to life. There's a very healing aspect to just being present to ourselves right here as we are. And so we have begun to establish the first foundation of the self-compassion break, which is establishing mindfulness. Mindfulness of the body, mindfulness of the breath. Inviting a stability, a calm, and a unifying. A greater wholeness. Making sure the heart is supported both in the front, the sides, and the back. Seeing if you can breathe now into this heart space, making sure we make contact and offer resource and supports to all sides. A lot of people leave the back unattended, and then the back can start to actually activate because it is not sufficiently supported or brought into awareness. So breathing into the whole heart space, front and back, left and right, above and below. I call this dropping the weapons or unarmoring. I see if I can't begin to melt or dissolve any barriers, any scaffolding I've constructed, any obstacles, any tension that might be there, to see if I can't begin to soften. By this time of the evening, we all have a guarded heart. And then we can begin as we are just releasing, softening, creating a space and a little bit of flexibility in that softness. Seeing if we can then call to mind a moment of difficulty, we're going to begin to turn towards the truth of suffering, of difficulty. You might call that upset, challenge. You might call it an emotion. Maybe there was a sadness that you experienced, confusion. Maybe you had a difficult interaction, a misunderstanding. Maybe something happened that invited an overwhelm. You weren't really prepared. Just call this moment to mind. I'm going to call the moment to mind with a friend who was in distress. And I'm not going to focus so much currently on her distress. I'm going to focus on the distress I felt at recognizing that she was having a hard time. I'm calling the image to mind. I'm picturing her face. I'm seeing if I can't also, as I'm gathering these mental notes, I'm seeing if I can let that translate down beyond the ideas, beyond the concepts and the images, into a direct experience as felt by the body. We're not just keeping it a thought, we're seeing if we can't make contact. I like to take my hands here and actually hold my own heart, to stay in touch and to stay current and most immediate with my own distress. I'm still breathing in, touching into my own heart and heart space as I recollect this moment. I'm not trying to fix anything, solve anything. I'm not trying to find a solution, get creative. I'm just trying to feel into the truth of that experience as completely as I can. And I can feel some physical sensations, a kind of tightening, a pinch, a little stab on the left side. Again, just noticing, holding the experience, breathing into it, or breathing around it if that feels better for you. Seeing if I can't simply be companion, bear witness, show up for the experience. And then one of the second offerings of this self-compassion break is that we acknowledge this is a moment of difficulty. This is challenging. This is hard. Ouch. We're watching for tendencies for resistance, for shutting down, for going numb, seeing if we can't stay enlivened, active, and open-hearted rather than shut down. Right here in the moment of challenge or upset. We're still waking down, feeling into the body. As we recollect this event, remembering this is a part of the human experience. This is a part of being alive. It's difficult or unpleasant, it's confusing or distressing, whatever it is. And it's a part of this being alive in this human incarnation. As we're gathering our experience, remembering that this unpleasantness, this pain, this confusion, part of the human endeavor, we can also then recollect that not only me, not only I know this feeling, just like this pinch, this tightness, this distress, but others just like me know this too. This begins to open our distress beyond our self-centered swirl into the truth that this is not only human, but that others are experiencing it also. It's not special, it's not unique, it's not just mine. Others feel this too. The second part is to establish the shared common vulnerability and humanness of our experience. Breathing into the heart and allowing the heart to be held by the hands in contact. The third part is kindness, the offer of the open heart. Rather than contracting, turning away, shutting down, we see if there's any part of the open heart that we can offer towards ourselves. I can understand my own wish for my friend's relief and my own. Because I care about her, I can understand my wish that she be free from this distress and that I be free from this distress. We can offer those phrases, something simple like, may you be okay. May you be healed. May you remember that this is just a part of being alive. This is a part of loving. So we might offer a phrase. We can offer the loving kindness phrase, may you be free from distress. We can offer it again first for ourselves and then for those others if that's available. It doesn't matter. We exchange self for other, offering it to where it's available. We can offer a medicine, a salve, a curative invitation. Some people send light, some people might breathe out love, others breathe out phrases, others send a hug, a gentle touch, a warm embrace. See what feels most soothing and healing for you. And remember, first, can we offer this to ourselves? And then from that wholeness, from that resourced place, we will be able to offer what others need as well. We can trust this. And if it feels like I've only got so much today to offer to myself, that's perfect practice. We can honor that. This third component of the self-compassion break, offering kindness, care, compassion, and beginning with yourself. I can truly feel for myself and my love for my friend, my distress for her circumstance, and my wish that she be well and have ease. I can also accept my own sense of helplessness, of vulnerability, the pain I was in at her pain. I don't have to fix anything. I don't have to change either of us. Can I let it be? We can breathe in that relief for ourselves, offering a phrase, a touch, an image. This really hurts, I might say. And then I remember that second thought, others just like me feel this too. And as I say that, I can feel the sense of the heart space grow larger. This is not just me in my helplessness, me in my frustration at not being able to offer anything of assistance. You can feel for all those who recognize suffering and feel helpless. And then when it's time, and it happens really very much on its own, we can feel not only for ourselves, but those others. And I happen to know my friend was very likely feeling similarly, somewhat helpless, some very alone, imagining that others did not understand what this was like for her. And I'm going to see if I can't just match my heart to hers, that I can feel for her as well as myself, both of our confusion, both of our helplessness, both of our feeling deficient in the face of this suffering. And just breathing in, seeing if I can't open, expand, let in, and then offer that understanding, that kindness, feeling the compassion for us both. I can then begin to breathe it out and offer it to me and her, or me or her, exchanging oneself for another. If I'm offering it to me, I can also then be enough to give her, and vice versa. Now, when we do this on the spot, we can simply breathe 3 times. First time, remembering this is a moment of suffering. With the second breath, this is a part of being alive and in this human incarnation. Remembering that not only I, but others know this too. And then making the offer, offering the willingness to stay, offering forgiveness to self or other, offering compassion, kindness, patience, mercy, love. And then we simply breathe it in. Breathing in patience, breathing it out. Breathing in love, breathing it out. Breathing in compassion. And then rather than just extend it to self or other in its time, and again, we let it take its time, we don't rush, we can begin to just breathe in compassion, breathe it out, let it move and expand in all directions. Breathing in for me, my friend, and another who I know is in suffering. It just naturally happens. Another who is lonely, who is scared, who is feeling defeated. We continue to open to include all those others in its time. And then we can simply rest when we're ready in that open, spacious, boundless heart. Letting whatever comes come in, we breathe it in. We send out whatever good we have. May we all be happy. May we all be safe. May we all be free from internal and external harm. And as Joyce Hario says, may we remember all the good that has been offered to us, all the good that we are, all the good that is around us, and all the good to come. Good generates good. And then we just breathe and rest in that goodness. The boundless open heart, both internal and beyond. See if you can just let it breathe you. The breath beyond the body, not just within. Offering care, kindness, compassion, and attention. And may this self-compassion practice contribute May it be so, and let this day be done. Remembering that with compassion, with kindness, with love and care, it is always a very good day. Here we go, the self-compassion break, and then the on-the-spot compassion practice offered to ourselves and then others, always beginning with ourselves a few times a day. It's a really important invitation to learning how not to contract and distance, or contract and separate, or contract and numb, or contract, cut off, and bury, but really right in the face of the challenges that we all have in every day, that we make contact and move in. We make contact and open. We make contact and expand to include in our good hearts. And so I hope that this practice was helpful. This evening, see if we can include it every day. 3 breaths doesn't take too long. acknowledging the truth of suffering, acknowledging this is just a part of life as it is. Here we are, and then offering ourselves whatever is most needed. And let's start with a little self compassion for the very suffering that we're in. Well, I hope this is helpful to you this evening. I'm feeling so much better, I have to say, about the challenge I had today. And that's not the goal of the practice, by the way. The goal of the practice is to make contact with the distress and then to see what is needed, and compassion for myself and for my friends, certainly both were of benefit to me. I hope that this practice was equally as benefit to you and to those with whom you live, love, and interact. I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow if you happen to make it to Tuesday morning at 7. If not, Thursday morning at 7 with Greg will be happening. And then once again, our Saturday Sangha at 7:30 will also be there this week. So I'll look forward to seeing you. Be well, everyone. Lisa, since you're here, thank you so much for all that beautiful work with Godanya and Scripps. And we just got a lunch to Dr. Jim and his team. And I know we're working on one with Renee. So fabulous. So fabulous. Thank you so much. And to Leslie, always for helping us get these videos on Zoom. Several people told me they couldn't get to the last practice, which was, I guess, Saturday. I don't know what happened. I'm going to take a look at that. It may not have anything to do with anything but the Zoom website, possibly, but just know I'm going to take a look at that, see if we can't straighten it out. All right, everyone. Blessings to all of you. I will send the remembrance poem to you all. It's just one of my favorites. It's just something I love reading in the morning as I remember all the good in all the world and resource ourselves with it. All right, everyone. Good to see you all. Blessings to everyone. May you be compassionate to yourself, beginning now. Beginning now. Blessings and love to everyone. See you soon.